Alright, let's take a look at the installation of the TCO machine in the control room of the Wiley machine, clearing throat. I'll use the number 6353 mobile phone as an example here. When I'm installing, since I'm left-handed, my film head is on this side. My film head is here, so I didn't use a screwdriver. I need to use these 4 screwdrivers on this side. Alright, I will now carefully install all 4 of these screws. Cough. Okay, the print head is now secured, it's fixed in place, clearing throat. Now we can connect the screen, the recess, and any other components that need to be connected. Let me explain something important here. Let me explain clearing throat. If we're using this particular print head and this specific tape, if the surface spacing is quite large, typically the gap is about 2 millimeters or so approximately. If the gap is too large, you will definitely need to use the machine's built-in shim. To properly install it, place the shim carefully here, then gently loosen this specific screw and subsequently insert the shim so that we can accurately adjust to the optimal distance. Clearing throat. We'll proceed to carefully remove these 2 screws located on the very top of the PSU power supply unit. Once they are completely removed, that will be good. Take it off. It's the same for our display screen. These 2 screws can also be removed. After removing them, you can also take it off. Once it's off, if we want to assemble the display screen and the PSU together, there's a slot here. We insert the closed end into this slot. Now they're joined together, but if you want to separate them, if you want to keep them apart and not assemble them together, then you'll need to handle them individually over here. There's a separate bracket, a dedicated display screen bracket. Once you've inserted it properly, just fix it onto a filter rod of any machine, and that's it. For example, if we assemble them together on the ceiling, when they're placed together, there's still a lack of support here. Support. Here, there's a support. This part can rotate. Clearing throat. If you check after fixing it in place, you can see this screw hole. Screw hole. All right, just like that. Okay, when it's like this, you see it's a situation that requires careful consideration. Clearing throat. At this point, we connect the power cable and all the related cables. Plug them in. If the two are combined together, we don't need this power cable because this cable is originally used to connect the display and the PSU. If we assemble them together as one unit, then we don't need this cable. But if they're separated, then we do need it. It's being pushed significantly and noticeably upward. Oh, if we absolutely need this particular cable, especially when we separate these components, we will definitely require it. This specific cable conveniently plugs in right here, and its other end also securely plugs in right here as well. All right, this way we've successfully separated the screen and the power supply unit, commonly known as the PSU. This careful separation means that if we were to combine them together, integrating both the screen and the PSU into a single unified component, we would then eliminate the need for this particular connecting cable, simplifying the internal structure and potentially reducing clutter within the device. We are now going to officially recess this session, which means we will be taking a temporary break from our proceedings. This recess is necessary to allow for further deliberation and preparation before we can resume our important work. We will reconvene at a later specified time to continue with the agenda. All right, let me take a look. From the recess, align the small notch to the small notch and the large notch to the large notch. Make sure they're matched up. Then insert it and secure it with screws. The other end of the cable we then plug directly into our power supply unit or PSU. This power cable, plug it in here. Okay then, all right, sounds good. All right, let's look at the ribbon installation. Next, the ribbon installation. So we open it again, press this button to take it out. Let's install the ribbon, Okay. This is the first step, installing the ribbon. Oh, this is the power supply post. For the power supply post, we just plug it in directly. After that, the next one is the receiving post. That's how the first step is done. Once it's installed, we can put it in place. When installing, make sure it's flat. There shouldn't be any creases. The height on all three sides must be even, absolutely flat, and no wrinkles, no creases. If there are no further questions, let's continue with the installation. All right, it's installed now, so next we can power it on. Oh, let's turn it on, over there. Okay, power on. Wait for it. All right. Let's carefully check and determine whether our current printing mode of operation is an intermittent or a continuous process. If we are indeed using the continuous mode, we absolutely need to make sure to precisely check which specific mode we are currently in right now. Oh, it's important. Go to Tools, Diagnostics, Printhead, and under General, our current printer mode is set to intermittent. If it's set to intermittent, we need to change it to continuous mode. Because in the end, we want to print continuously, so we need to switch it to continuous mode. The default is intermittent mode. All right, if it's already set to continuous mode, then we don't need to change anything. So okay, let's take a look at how to switch between intermittent and continuous modes on this T2O machine. How do we change the printing mode? First of all, by default, it's usually set to intermittent mode. If we want to change it to continuous mode, or if we want to check whether it's set to continuous or intermittent mode, where do we look? We can go to the Tools menu, then navigate to Diagnostics, and then Control. Oh wait, it's actually located right here under Sensor, and then Shared. In this particular section, you can see that I've already switched it to the continuous operating mode. By default, it's set to intermittent mode. So how do we change it? How exactly do we go about switching between the continuous operating mode and the intermittent operating mode? Let's take a closer look and carefully examine this. First, I haven't actually clicked on the Tools menu or any of the available options within it just yet, have I? I need to ensure I've performed that specific action before proceeding further with our demonstration. You will need to click on the Tools menu, then navigate to Diagnostics, followed by Control, and finally Communication. It is important to remember this specific TCP IP address for future reference. We carefully connect the network cable, plug one end securely into the power supply unit, or PSU, and the other end directly into our computer's main unit. Carefully plug the necessary cable into the appropriate port on the computer's main unit, which houses the central processing components. This ensures a secure and stable connection. Following this, we will then proceed to open the specialized Clarity Configure software application. Here we select the network port, choose the network port, and then enter the IP address that was just displayed on the coder, 169.254.2.1. Here it's 3001, 3001. We click connect. If it turns green, the connection is successful. If it's gray, green means the connection is successful, and if it's gray, it means the connection failed. At this particular juncture, we will proceed to click the Upload button, which is essential for initiating the transfer of the current parameters from the coder device directly to our computer system, ensuring all settings are accurately reflected and accessible for further use. Click it once, okay, it's successfully uploaded. After the uploading process, we then click the second option here, right here, and also over here. Now it's changed to continuous mode. By default, it's set to intermittent mode. After I change it, select it, and then click OK, then click this particular button. Just click this after selecting it. Now, after making the change, we go back here, select this again, click this, and confirm. All right, it's already been sent over because we've made the change. Also, let's take a look at the encoder. By the way, where do we check the encoder? It's also here. Here you can see impulse and then the encoder. By default, it's set to 3600 pulses, which we don't need to change. But if it's not 3600 pulses, we need to change it to 3600 pulses. I can make the change right here. After making the change, just click this and then click login, and that's it. It means it's fully original, us, and over here, it shows 100% success, indicating it's successful, completed successfully. This green light here means we've connected successfully. If it's gray, that means it hasn't connected successfully. All right, once we change this mode, the printing mode, to continuous, if we want it to be continuous, we just set it to continuous mode. If we're using it intermittently, we just set it to intermittent mode, or actually we don't need to change it because the default is intermittent. All right, after we've successfully switched to the continuous mode of operation, let's now take a closer look here at the Tools section. Tools, what exactly is this particular feature? Tools, set print head. Here, there's a print head position. Once we've switched to continuous mode, this value here will show as 50. Usually it's fixed and doesn't need to be adjusted because with 50, that's for our alignment. Click start, click start. We can see that the print head is positioned directly above the guide wheel, right above it. That's exactly what we want. If it's not directly above the guide wheel, we can adjust it here. This position, the print head position, can be fine-tuned until the print head is right above the guide wheel. All right, let's take a look at the encoder and see how it's wired at the back. For the encoder, we use 4 wires. This is the power wire, 0 volts, blackout A, and out B. These 2 are good. We need to carefully connect the primary power wire to terminal 1 here, specifically terminal 1 of our essential encoder unit. The main power wire meticulously goes to terminal 1 of our number 2 wire, and terminal 3, which is number 3, representing 0 volts, precisely connects to the encoder's dedicated 0 volt terminal. This ensures proper electrical grounding and functionality for the entire system. The encoder's 0 volt terminal 3 of the encoder connects to the encoder's 0 volt. All right, terminal 15, number 15, connects to out A, output A. This connects to the encoder's blackout A wire, which is terminal 15, output A. Then terminal 14, number 14, connects to the white wire, the encoder's white out B. Connect it like this, and that's it. That's how you connect the 4 wires of the encoder. Also, there's another thing. Usually we get the signal from the packaging machine. How do we get the encoder signal? We have two more wires coming out. One is wire number 1 and the other is wire number 2. Wait, let me find where wire number 2 is. Did you bring wire number 1? Wire number 1 and wire number 2 are used to close the circuit and send the signal. However, we usually connect them to the packaging machine's relay. It's very important that the signal from the relay is not reversed and must not be live, otherwise it could burn out the main board of our encoder. It's best to connect it to a relay. When the relay closes, it sends the signal. Connect wires 1 and 2 directly to the packaging machine's relay. This is the signal. The encoder and the signal clears throat. Alright, allow me to thoroughly explain once more how my particular machine is generally connected. This is precisely how it is typically done. Let me now go over some important precautions. For instance, if the printing is not sufficiently clear, or if the printout appears noticeably blurry, or if there are any other similar issues that arise. First, let's take a look at this position here. When we align the puzzle, I align it to the position of this film, its height. The height is generally around 2 millimeters, about 2 millimeters. If it's too high, we can use shims. We can add shims to adjust the height. We actually have some built-in shims here that can be added right here. Just add them in. What else? This is a height issue. Another thing is, in the settings, in the puzzle section, I can see a print darkness option. We can increase this value. The higher the value, the darker and clearer the print will be. What else? For inkjet printing strength, we can also increase it. Similarly, the higher the value, the clearer the print. What else? Mainly, when it comes to typing issues, these are basically the two main factors affecting print clarity. One is the height, another is the inkjet printing strength, and the last is the print darkness setting.